Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial brought to you by Professional CAD Systems in Hamilton, New Zealand. My name is Russell Elliott and I'm going to be taking you through a few tools today to help you to create raking walls. The tools are the tape measure tool to create some guidelines, protractor tool to create pictures and guidelines, and then also the rotate tool which will help you to manipulate and rotate members to the required rakes and pitches that you want. We'll also have a look at reinforcing some of the things we've learned with grouping and the outliner filter. So first things first, I need to create a bottom plate and some guidelines, but my bottom plate's not going to go from the outside of this platform to the outside. It's sitting in between the other bottom plate. So what I want to do is use my outliner tree and the visibility tools and turn on the relevant walls, so the back wall and the front wall. So that will give me good node points to stretch a bottom plate across, and I also want to use these walls to create guidelines for my height and pitch. Now you can look at setting this up on your own as an elevation, but there is an elevation kiosk provided by the software which will give you predetermined stance points and viewpoints. Now we're going to use a tallest to lowest, right to left orientation, which I think is this one. Right, so first off we'll get the tape measure tool. This just gives us our vertical alignment. You can stretch it up to the top of the stud if you need a dimension for that, but that's not important to us. What we can do is just select that line, double click, and that will create a guide. Next we want to use the protractor tool. Make sure that it's on the right axes and red is correct for what we want to do. Find that node, click, extrude a horizontal line out in any direction, but obviously we're working left to right, so we'll go this way. Then click to land it, and you can manipulate that line using your mouse. I know that I want 5 degrees, so we'll just type 5 degrees using our keypad and enter, and that will give us our line. So 5 degrees, enter, and there we go. Now you'll probably notice that these lines and stuff don't marry up, but that's not important for the tutorial that we're doing today. I just threw these walls up quickly so that there was some sort of reference and something to talk about and talk through. So where were we? Guidelines, or bottom plate. We'll just go back to our view, zoom out. Now to create a bottom plate, just rotated it, and there we go. We're going to use our rectangle tool, so click on that, and what we're going to do is right click and make a group to begin with. So this wall is going to be a group from the offset, so we'll find our node point, click, stretch that out to the other side, should be 45 by 2220, yes, click that, and then we will use our extrude tool, click on that edge and take it out 90. Okay, now we want to make that bottom plate a group inside of a group, so you can see the hash line around there, that's our group, and there's some stuff in here which is all editable geometry, lines and surfaces. So we'll get our cursor tool, triple click, triple left click, right click, and make a group. And now this group of stuff is inside the group. Now what we can do is, inside of this group still, is we can create some studs. So starting at that corner, we'll click and bring a triangle out, and what do we a rectangle, 45 by 90, 90 by 45. That's better. Select our push pull tool and we'll extrude this on the blue axis 2500, and that should go right past the guidelines. I hope it does. Cool. Now what you'll see is the dotted line has grown, so we're still working inside of the group, but this again is just faces and lines, and we want to keep it like that. We don't want to make this a group yet, because editing the rake can be problematic if we make a group and then add lines to the whole lot. You've got to edit each piece individually, whereas this we can create multiple instances of this and then edit them all at the same time. So if we triple click, that'll select all the lines and faces in that geometry. Move tool, create a copy, move it, drop it, and I think across the opening we want 4 instances, so divided by 4, enter, and we've got 4 editable instances. To make sure that you're in the group, I see that my dotted lines have disappeared, so make sure that you're in the group, otherwise this won't work. There you go. Then using your line tool, you can click on that guideline, pull a line through. Now that'll leave you with a tag. Just press escape to free yourself of that. Now what you'll notice, if you get the selection cursor, that line has divided every one of these studs into, I don't know, sub-editable options. You've got a splice. So using your push-pull tool, you can click on a face and push that face back till you get a 90 offset, which is the thickness of our piece of timber or our member, and click and it's gone. You can do that to each one, but you don't have to physically push pull. You can, once you've done one, the software will remember what you're doing. Select the face and double click, so nice and fast, easy peasy. Then once you've done that, you can select the erase tool and get rid of that line. You see the group will reduce itself and update itself again. And there you go. We've just created some rakes on our studs. Now what we can do is get the move tool, select this bottom plate, get the move tool and create a copy all the way up to the top of that the tallest stud, and click. That's now been moved. Then we can get our rotate tool, and from that corner click, same as the protractor tool, pull a line across, click and snap that down onto our guide. Or you can similarly just enter 5 and enter, and that will give us our rake. But things aren't matching up quite nicely, so we'll look at how to use these tools to select lines and select corners and then close that gap up. Right, so to close the gap we need to zoom out so we can see what's going on. Select the member, or get into the group, double click, get into the group, then select our line. It could be handy in this instance, because we're using the top, it could be handy to have a guideline. So if we just quickly click out of there, get into the group and double click this edge, that'll give us a guideline, and then we'll double click on this vertical edge as well, and that'll give us a guideline through the vertex, and we might do it on this side as well. So now you go back to your cursor. Sorry, I'm on the verge of having a coughing fit and trying to hold it back. Select the line, select the move tool, and you can move this piece of geometry. The safest way is to locate that guideline, press shift and hold shift, and then just snap to that vertical face intersection which is there. Don't worry about the step. We said earlier that the walls were all different because I just thrown this together for the tutorial. Right, cursor, select the line, back to the move tool, shift and click, back to the cursor tool, select the line, move tool, click, find that guide, shift and click, and hey presto, we can get rid of all the guidelines once we're done with them by selecting the cursor, clicking into white space until the group's gone, edit, delete guides. There you go. You can start with the next piece of your drawing. Let's turn off these groups. Oh, you can edit, not edit, relabel these groups, call them tutorial, so that we know what it is, because I'll likely be deleting this and I'll be using the walls that I created earlier. You see these ones marry up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for your time. Again, thank you for your patience. Catch you guys next time.